Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about AP Psychology Unit 4, which is all about social psychology and personality. And this unit is weighted 15 to 25% on your AP exam. Attributions are how people explain behavior and mental processes of themselves and others. Dispositional attributions are internal qualities like intelligence and personality, and situational attributions are external experiences and like situational factors. People demonstrate patterns of attributions, which is the explanatory style, and this is how people explain good and bad events in their lives, and it's either optimistic or pessimistic. People are biased in their attributions, such as the actor observer bias, which is the tendency for people to attribute their own actions to situational causes and others' actions to internal factors like personality. The fundamental attribution error is emphasizing a person's character while interpreting behavior and underestimating the influence of the situation. Like, for example, if there's a driver who's rushing to the hospital, they might be driving not the best, they might be driving a little recklessly. And our first thought is going to be that they're driving recklessly and not even consider the fact that they're going to the hospital. The self serving bias is attributing success to internal factors like skill and failures to external factors like bad luck. The mere exposure effect is the belief that when people are exposed to a stimulus repeatedly over time, they're going to grow to like the stimulus more. A stereotype is a generalized concept of a group, and it can be cause of biased perceptions. Implicit attitudes are attitudes that individuals hold but are unaware of. They also reflect negative evaluations of others, and this is seen in the just world phenomenon, which is the belief that people get what they deserve and deserve what they get, like karma. And the outgroup homogeneity bias is when we perceive members of the outgroup as similar to each other more than the in-group. And the in-group homogeneity bias is when we perceive members of our own group as diverse and individual, while viewing members of the outgroup as more similar to each other. Belief perseverance is when our belief persists, even if evidence suggests it's inaccurate. This is also linked with confirmation bias. It's when we find information to support our preconceptions and kind of ignoring information that goes against it. Cognitive dissonance is mental discomfort when our actions or attitudes are in conflict with each other. There are two different types of persuasions. The foot in the door phenomenon is when you start with a small request and then work your way up to a big one. This is like when charities start by asking for a small donation and then over time they work up asking for a bigger one. In the door in the face phenomenon is when you start with a big request and then you work down to what you really want. Group polarization is that individuals hold more extreme views after discussing with like-minded people. For example, if you talk about politics with somebody that you share beliefs with, you're most likely to leave the conversation having more extreme views because you guys just build off each other. And social loafing is doing less work when you're working in a group. De-individuation is when individuals lose a sense of personal identity. The false consensus effect is that people overestimate levels to which others agree with them. Altruism is selfless behavior and acts of kindness. The social reciprocity norm is that people will return favors, and the social responsibility norm is that people should act in ways to benefit others. Ego defense mechanisms. Denial is when individuals refuse to accept their reality to avoid the real painful reality. Displacement is when you redirect emotions from the original source to a less threatening source. For example, if you're mad at your boss and you can't take it out on your boss, so when you go home, you just start taking it out on your spouse or family. Projection is attributing unacceptable thoughts onto someone else. Rationalization is creating logical excuses for your behavior. Reaction formation is adapting opposite of true feelings. Regression is reverting to behaviors from earlier stages of development. Repression is when your brain pushes distressing memories out of conscious awareness. This is seen in a lot of people that have been abused. A lot of the times they won't remember it because their brain has pushed it out. And sublimation is channeling unacceptable impulses into productive outlets. Reciprocal determinism, it explores self-concept and how self-efficacy and self-esteem contribute to self-concept. And the Big Five theory is that agreeableness, openness to experience, extroversion, conscientiousness, and emotional stability make up one's personality. The self-determination theory is that people are motivated by both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is internal rewards and just like the satisfaction, and extrinsic motivation is getting an actual reward like a medal or a prize. Motivational conflicts theory is that choices create conflicts one must resolve as basis of motivation. The approach conflict is when a person must choose between two equally positive options. The approach avoidance conflict is when you're choosing a single goal with both appealing and unappealing aspects. And avoidance conflict is when you're choosing between two undesirable options. And then hormones like ghrelin and leptin regulate feelings of hunger, along with external factors influencing the behavior of eating, like the time of day and the presence of food. And that's it for Unit 4 of AP Psychology. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I did put a link in the description box to my Quizlet for all the terms you need to know this unit. And thank you for watching.